Assembly. Right now, we are here in the office of Senatorial Board, no other than Dr. Felipe F. Monte Alto Jr., Senator Ligtas, commonly among Filipino. Kamusta po, Senator Ligtas?
Ma'am NJ, sa awa po ng Panginoon, Allah Karim, mabuti naman po ang aking kalagayan at maraming salamat po sa inyong napakahalagang panahon.
Opo, curious po ako, last election, ano po yung pinagkakabalahan nyo ngayon dahil maraming mga Pilipino na ina-aspire namin talaga na makapasok kayo sa election. Ano pong nangyari? Can you give us a little quick background of it?
I filed my certificate of candidacy noong unang araw po. That was October 1, 2024. I was the 7th filer. However, noong October 22, naghain po ng petisyon ang Commission on Elections laban po sa akin para ideklara ako na nuisance candidate at subsequently, yun ang tuluyan na basis nila para kanselahin ang aking certificate of candidacy pagka-senador. Lumaban po ako mula sa First Division, Comelec and Bank, hanggang sa Korte Suprema. Ngunit hindi po ako pinalad at hindi po nabigyan ng Korte Suprema ang Commission on Elections ng Temporary Restraining Order na sanang magpatigil ng pagbaklas ng aking pangalan sa balota. Yun po ang nangyari na background po ng aking kandidatura. So, sa makatuwid, hindi po ako nakasali sa balota nung nag-reprint po ulit ng balot ang ating kagalang-galang na Commission on Elections noong January 28 when they resumed. This is a matter of national interest dahil nga the elections cases have primacy in its resolution pagdating po sa kataas-taasang hukuman po natin. So, natapos po ang eleksyon, hindi po ako nakasali, diniklara po akong nuisance candidate. Sa lahat po na 117 na diniklara ng Korte Suprema, ako na lang po ang nakaabot hanggang motion for reconsideration na inilaban ko po sa laban sa Commission on Elections sa Korte Suprema po.
Opo. Very ano po kayo, controversial that time. Kasi kung matatandaan natin, among the Comelec, mismong ang chairman natin ng Comelec, George Garcia, ay ninominate kayo na isa para makapasok.
Opo, tama po yun. Nung naghain po ako ng motion for reconsideration dahil hindi po tayo pinatigan ng First Division ng Comelec, pag-akyat po sa Commission on Elections and Bank, nakakuha po tayo ng isang boto, ng mahalagang boto na yung galing kay Chairman Garcia. He was very vocal when he granted my motion for consideration. Taliwas po doon sa anim na commissioners na umayaw or hindi tinanggap ang aking motion for consideration. Even if I did not win in numbers, I believe and I contend that I won at least by moral victory, that no less than the chairman of the Comelec has been very vocal that he granted my motion for consideration. To me, that is enough at that level. Nga lang ang pinaglaban natin dahil ang kanilang babasehan dyan yung numero. But insiders would tell us that this is the first time that happened in the history ng Comelec na ang isang commissioner natalo ng 6 na commissioner at hindi naman siya kinatigan na dapat may tinatawag din tayong respect. And of course, yung the law department sana ng Comelec, hindi na rin po sana nila, the best thing that they could have done was to withdraw the petition because the chairman of the Commission on Elections had already pronounced that he has seen that I have the bona fide intent to run as a senator. Yun po ang nangyari sa Comelec po, Ma'am MJ.
Kaya nga po, kasi po talagang sa pag-research natin ay before pa kayong mag-file as senatorial ball, ay may mga engagement na po kayo sa government like sa PNP po. Tama po ba sa EOD K9 po natin?
Yes po. First of all, pumasok din po ako sa gobyerno as early as 15 years old. I was elected Sangguniang Kabataan Chairman and subsequently I was elected the Vice President of the Sangguniang Kabataan Municipal Federation of the Municipality of Miagao, Province of Iloilo. So hindi na po bago sa atin ang politika. Our family in Iloilo are mostly engaged in public service as well in politics. So tama po yun. I was appointed first as an advisor of the Philippine National Police Explosive Ordnance and K9, popularly known as Bomb Squad. Okay? Tapos, subsequently, during the first meeting, na-elect po akong president ng advisory council po for police transformation and development. Yun pong engagement ko po sa PNP EOD-K9. Could you believe that a few months before the election fever of 2025, nabisita ko po ang COMELEC mismo dahil nga inimbita ako ng PNP EOD-K9 na lumahok doon sa kanilang abakada, yung awareness of bombs that kills and lives and destroy property. So, ang panahon na yun, napakaikli naman ng memorya ng COMELEC na hindi nila ako naalala o nakilala na may engagement na rin pala ako sa kanila and I visited them. So, irony of ironies. Siguro talagang may short memory lang ang mga taga-COMELEC na hindi nila ako natandaan na nag-visit din ako sa kanila as a guest of the PNP EOD-K9 few months before the election fever started. And yun po ang una. Tapos may other engagement pa po ako. Like, I was also appointed special advisor to the Director General of the Philippine Economic Zone Authority or PEZA.
If I'm not mistaken, nung time ni Chair Charito Plaza?
Yes. During the time of Director General Charito Plaza from Butuan City, we met in Doha, Qatar when she was having her campaign there for foreign direct investment promotion. Dahil nga po sa ating desire to serve the country, even in my private capacity, I was being tapped by, or I have been tapped by DG Charito Plaza to join the PEZA as a special advisor. So ang role ko po doon was to look for prospective foreign direct investors and locators to invest in the country under the Economic Zone Authority programs and projects. In fact, I was invited by Governor Zubiri of Bukidnon at some point, sometime if memory serves, in 2019, I traveled to Butuan, to Bukidnon. I'm so sorry. To visit Bukidnon and even traveled to Balay-Balay City. I went to Manolo Fortich and explained to the provincial government of Bukidnon the concept of economic zone and their potential prospective project in Manolo Fortich. So, taliwas ito sa sinabi ng COMELEC na wala po akong ginawa sa buhay, na kundi i-develop lang sarili ko. I have also had engagement, of course, as a paralegal of the alumnus of the University of the Philippines Law Center. I've been active as well in access to justice, pro bono programs of the UP alumni associations ng paralegal and some other lawyers who advocate for pro bono or access to justice services po.
Senator Ligtas, kasi nakita naman natin dito sa office ninyo na you have a global exposure talaga from different country, not just a Muslim country, even the Catholic from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Vatican, Australia. So you have a lot of exposure, not just here in the country, but you're one of the successful OFW, right?
Yes, as early as around mid of the 2000, I traveled to Australia for a discernment program in the Australian Capital Territory or Canberra. So that's why I have a relations with the Vatican because I was a former seminarian. Magpapari po ako sana, nga lang napunta po ako sa Saudi Arabia to work there. So half of my life I've spent in the Middle East, in Saudi and in Qatar. In Saudi Arabia, I worked there in several companies as well. So naging kanang kamay tayo ng mga Arab company owners. Most of my time was spent on general office management and even official communications writer of these Arab companies. So I have my training and my preparation as an OFW was heavily influenced by my global exposure as well. I sat in some meetings there with big corporations, oil companies, oil and gas company, electrical companies there, and even travel and tourism. So that exposure made me even arrange that a Philippine company involved in airline was able to travel to work or have access to Saudi flights. One of the major airlines there have arranged and facilitated the general sales agent and have been active in the Filipino community there. My OFW colleagues can attest to my testament that I was there available for ating mga women in distress, yung nangangailangan ng tulong, and even some of our retired government officials like some ambassadors, consuls. I have been very active in Saudi Arabia, helping as well my colleagues. So, ang exposure ko po sa international market could have been a very much asset to as I enter or I seek public office through the legislature to start with the Senate.
Also, you have also collaboration and have a degree program in Malaysia.
Yes, in 2014, I traveled to Malaysia and I was able to obtain a certificate in healthcare travel facilitators program. So I have been certified by the Malaysian government and I studied on a short course in the Institute Jantung Negara or the equivalent of the Heart Center of the Philippines in Malaysia. So this exposure allowed me to expand my network internationally and even develop the culture of globalization and international trade access and business development and foreign relations.
Going back naman tayo sa Pilipinas, very huge and very amazing yung mga accomplishment nyo at hindi rin alam ng marami sa atin sa pagre-research natin. And also, you are the consultant of PNP PADPA.
Yes, I would like to just make a disclosure that before I entered and I threw my hat in the Philippine politics on a national scale, I was a former technical consultant to PADPAO, that is the Association of Security Agencies nationwide. So I just took a leave of absence when I engaged myself in politics. On the PNP level, yes, I admit that I was elected as a chairman and of the advisory group of the PNP EODK9. Likewise, I took a leave of absence when the election fever or the election time came and started so that to allow myself to have a free way to campaign without involving the institutions that I have been affiliated, such as the PNP and the PADPAO. But I have been with them for quite a number of years and sharing with them my thoughts and advocacies and my perspectives. And even when I was with the PNP EODK9, I sat with them either as an evaluator or assessor in some of their programs being implemented by our